Welcome back to Talking Comics with Heroes and Villains. I'm Eric, and this is
Arnie.
And this is Prophets by Brandon Graham, the writer, and Roy, the artist. What's his first name? I don't know. It is Simon Roy.
Roy.
I know Brandon Graham from King City and from Elephant Men, and like he's amazing. He's the best blog online, like hands down. I'm a huge nerd for that guy. So I've been excited for this for like a year, and Arnie just read it, and I was stoked that you liked it too.
It was awesome.
You should start off. I'm just gonna gush.
Yeah, it reminds me of most every sci-fi movie that I've seen where space travel is involved.
Anything good?
Yeah. It reminds me of Enemy Mine, The Explorers, Total Recall, Aliens.
So it's in good company.
Yeah, even a little bit of Avatar.
Yeah.
When he's running kind of through the jungle and he's
District 9, for sure, the alien designs are super cool.
Yeah.
Brandon Graham is a genius because the way that he writes is he doesn't go for the 3-act structure. He doesn't go for like formulaic kind of storytelling we know from movies and TV and most comics. He's not a very plot-centric guy. He uses all of his brain power to create an amazing world, and then he throws a character into it and has that character react to that world.
There's even a little bit of Rambo in there.
It's everything that he grew up on that he liked that was like genre-y.
Yeah.
And you can tell, and it's an amazing fusion of all of it. The coolest thing is that the book is actually issue 21. It's not issue 1. And it came out in the 90s as a Rob Liefeld book, which I didn't want to tell you before you read it.
God, I'm done.
It was as part of the it was called from Extreme Studios, and it was like almost like it wasn't very well reviewed.
Wait, I do remember Prophet. Prophet was he was drawn by Stephen Platt.
Later on, yeah. Liefeld started.
This big muscular dude.
And Liefeld wrote, yeah.
And, he had the shoulder pads. And
Splat, they call him.
Yes,
right? Yes.
Stephen Platt. He is one of my favorite artists.
And it wasn't terribly great, not to offend anybody, but this is really good.
Yeah.
And this year, Liefeld has a license on a lot of his books. No, it's the same character, Prophet. And it's issue 21 in that series.
Holy crap.
And like, you and I both didn't really like the first one, but this one's amazing.
Yeah, I read the first one. That's why I wasn't even connecting the dots.
It's unrecognizable how good this one is. It's this, and then Joe Keating is doing a book called Glory with Ross Campbell. Yeah. It's going to be amazing. It was like Rob Liefeld's Wonder Woman pastiche back in the day.
Yeah, I remember
But
that
it's
one.
so much more under Keating and Campbell. Like, it's all these cool like independent guys coming out that Liefeld has hired to reimagine his books.
Yeah, and despite all the crap I talk about Liefeld, that's really where his strengths are. With the characters he invented, because Deadpool has gone on and become an awesome character.
Deadpool, Cable,
and now he's doing this with Prophet.
I love Supreme more than like members of my own family.
Supreme wasn't awesome until he was not involved with it.
It was fun. It was fun, but then it got amazing.
Yeah,
like Alan Moore and Chris Sprouse and like
he's a good.
He should be an editor-in-chief of some company.
Yeah.
And he was for a while. He did awesome comics, and he did this, which
we're not.
This is called Extreme Studios under the Image imprint. But yeah, it's this amazing book. You don't have to read anything else to like it, but it's a sci-fi book about a guy who wakes up in the far future in an Earth that is unrecognizable.
He's not on Earth.
Yeah.
He's on another planet.
An Earth, like a planet.
Yeah, an Earth-like planet with very different creatures.
Yeah.
How much did this book, as a vegan, how much did this book bother you? It's just a question I wanted to pose to you as I was reading this book.
Oh yeah.
The guy eats human flesh, just as a spoiler.
Yeah, like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, which I'm pretty much a big fan of. It casts like, I don't want to get political and stuff, but there's like a little meat farm, and there's like Neanderthals. there's apes in it. There's like humanoid creatures, and they call them human flesh.
Yeah.
And they're in a meat factory, so it portrayed. You have more empathy because they're humans, and I have empathy because they're pigs. So like I always get that.
They were primates basically.
So I thought it was kind of great.
Humans. So.
Yeah, and it portrays he's a hunter because he has to hunt to live, which is a fact of life. Yeah. And they don't like beat around the bush. Like he has to go like murder these sentient creatures with axes to eat them. Yeah. And there's weird stuff in it. Like he has to mate with this weird like organ-looking alien.
Yeah, it looks like the parents from the Explorers. Like the huge alien parents from the Explorers, it kind of resembles that.
It looks like a Venus flytrap made of meat that he has to like mate with in order to like accomplish his mission. And then he has an organ inside of his body that was sewn in by his superiors that he has to trade for information.
He has to trade.
Yeah.
So that she mates with him.
It's so weird.
I think it was his testicle.
It looked like it. But yeah, it's the craziest thing I've ever read, and like I love Brandon Graham, and I was really excited for this, and I was nervous that it wasn't going to hold up to my expectations, but like I loved it.
Yeah.
I'm glad you liked it too.
Yeah, I totally did not make the connection between this Prophet and the 90s.
And most of you won't know what the Old Prophet is.
Yeah.
I have a bunch of the old issues, and I
Yeah.
have an action figure of the Old Prophet.
Well, the dichotomy kind of has changed because back then the book was mostly all about the art and not really about the story.
Right.
And now it's all about the story and not really the art. I mean, the art is not bad, but it's not as showy as what Stephen Platt used to do.
But this whole line of comics, the new Extreme revamp, it is really art heavy. Like he's having the greatest young artists in the business, and it's not a very plot heavy book. Like we're reviewing and we're talking about images and not story.
Yeah.
So it's kind of harkening back to that like 90s art feel, which is
Yeah,
fun.
dude, but the writing is solid.
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
The 90s did not have that.
And
it was all about the foil covers and
Yeah.
the big brawny dudes and how
But
many
the Arnies.
how many hashes you could put in and all that stuff. And it was all about the artist. I mean, there was a company that was founded by
It's
artists.
called Image Comics,
Yeah.
not like story comics. But 90s are all art. The early like aughts, the early 2000s were like just kind of story, and the art suffered. And now we're at this like renaissance where they're combining the two,
It's kind
and
of
it's
this
the
crossroads.
best time to read comics ever.
Yeah.
It's so great, and we're really lucky to be born right now.
Yeah, and here's the proof. I mean, if you can take, I'm sorry, such a crappy book like Prophet and make it great,
A little bit, yeah.
you know, that just
Yeah.
speaks volumes of what's going on in comics.
So
right
these
now.
guys are alchemists. It's amazing. You should come buy a copy at Heroes and Villains, or visit us on Facebook.com/Heroes and Villains Tucson, and let us know what you think, because it'll blow your mind.
Sure will.